Hey everyone, 8.2, drawing views of rotated objects. This is going to be one of our last little lessons we're going to be doing for the finale of Math 8. Left the most difficult probably part to be delivered online for the last thing. We should have probably done this first, but that's all right. So just as a quick review, I just want to go over this stuff right here above me and review that an object can be rotated horizontally about a vertical axis of rotation. Now, there's going to be two types of rotation we're going to be talking about and in which direction they can. So the first two rotations we'll be doing clockwise and counterclockwise. So if, of course, on a clock, the hands go this way and counterclockwise, they go the opposite way. The two axes of rotation that an object can be rotated will be on the horizontal axis rotation, and it can be rotated vertically about that. And they're right here, right there. There's a vertical axis rotation, and right here is the horizontal axis rotation. Now, an important thing we need to understand is down here in the bottom, is that we talk about 180 degrees clockwise rotation is the same as 180 degrees counterclockwise, as well as 90 degrees is the same as 270, and vice versa. 270 clockwise is the same as 90 degrees clockwise. So we need to pay attention to how the question is asking us on how we're going to be doing that. In this little example here, we have object X. Okay, so we have the front view, and then we have the top view, and then we have our side view. It's important to note that right here, this front view that they're pointing to right here, that's the front view. And when we go to draw these in our dot paper, you need to make sure that you draw that view first. So the front view right here needs to be drawn first. From that, whatever the question asks you, then we could do our right side and our left side. Again, we have to make sure that when we're doing our right side, that'll be on the right side, and then the left side, and then our top view, what it looks like from the top view. If we're to actually build this with Unifix cubes at the school, what it looks like when you're standing above it looking straight down upon it. All right. Now, when they ask you a question for this, especially specifically for this one, it says object X is rotated horizontally 90 degrees clockwise about a vertical axis. And here are the object's new orientation and views. Okay, so when we do that, the first thing you're going to do is, again, draw this front view right here. Draw it on your grid paper right away. From there, then when we talk about it, what it looks like from the left side or the right side, when we move it the 90 degrees, and we all know what 90 degrees is, what it would look like from our right side and our left side. Those are the next two you should draw. And again, I can't emphasize enough that the spacing between the two objects on here needs to be the same. You can't just willy-nilly it all over the square dot paper. It has to be spaced appropriately. Then when we draw the top view, it's just as you were looking from it above, right? So we would look at it from above. We would look down on it. And again, we have to make sure that we keep this line right here that shows depth. Okay, so this is when it would be clockwise. So we would rotate it this way. So obviously we do that. Our right side would be facing this way, like the right side is depicted here on the graph paper. And then we do the left side, which is the opposite side. And these are pretty straightforward. When we go to do this on the assignment, there will be the cube block sculptures that you'll be able to manipulate it and draw. And I will demonstrate that in the assignment when I do another video for that and kind of part 2 of drawing views of rotated objects. Moving back to this example, we have object X, which is referring to this object right here, is rotated vertically 180 degrees about a horizontal axis away from you. Here are the object's new orientation and views. Again, the arrows right here below me, right here, point to the front view. Again, we want to draw that front view first, and then we can do our left and right side views. So what it would look like is if it was through the horizontal axis is right here, and it's going away from you, all right? So it's going to be kind of tipped away from you, right? So then we would have our right side right here below me, and we would have our left side. And of course, the front view is the front view you should probably draw first, and then our top view, what it's going to look like, okay? Because there's no lines in here, and it is indicated right here with our top, we could probably draw the front and the right and the top view automatically without even rotating it to see what it looks like. Okay, so just a few little tips here before we get in there. Just to recap, we want to make sure we understand that it's the axis of rotation that we're going to be working on, whether it's going to be clockwise or counterclockwise, and the views. That's the views. They're always going to have an arrow on it, like the front view here, the front view right here, and of course, the front view that it's pointed to right here. Okay, always draw those views first, and then you'll be able to manipulate and move that around. As we go through this part of the lesson, there we are going to be using that cube block sculpture that we had in the previous class. It will be embedded right within the assignment. You'll be able to build the shape and then kind of manipulate a little bit. However, I'll demonstrate how to do that again in a separate video. But for the most part, just the vocabulary for this, the vertical axis of rotation, clockwise and counterclockwise, and the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. And of course, again, how to draw them on each of the little grids. And you'll be getting these grids and using the line tool. And I will, of course, demonstrate that one more time. All right. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.